Welcome. Happy Independence Day weekend to everyone. Today we're going to take a look at Joe Palooka Comics number 19, April, I think it's 1948. Let's look. April 1948, number 19. Published monthly at this time, America's most famous comic hero, Joe Palooka. Over 50 million readers every day. We've mentioned this before. I'm not sure how Harvey Publications is doing the math. But there's a. I don't know how they're doing that. Joe Palooka, comics, 10 cents. Ham Fisher. I really like the title with what they've done here with the stripes. April, May, June. So this isn't really even a 4th of July This would have come out in probably the beginning of the summer. The beginning of the summer. It wouldn't be exactly July, but it's June of 48, and this is the Freedom Train. It is patriotic. It says, I want every American to see the Freedom Train. Yay for the Freedom Train. I don't know for sure what this is about. I read this comic way back when I first bought it, which was about 10 years ago, and I don't remember there being a Freedom Train in the story in here. So I don't know if this is a reference to the news or popular culture at the time. This is 3 years after the end of World War II. The war would have ended, I think, in June of 45. Is that right? No, that's not right. That's D-Day. I don't know. I'm terrible when I'm live on camera with this, but I'm really not that smart to begin with. I don't know if there's a significance to this cover. It's very nice. You like it? This book is in really great shape for 1948. Look, this is a comic book from 1948. Looks almost like new until we get right to here. I'll show you in a second. Everything looks great. The reason why I'm able to afford this, the reason why 10 years ago I bought this, is because on the inside, you've got a through and through tear. But it's only, I mean, what is that? A quarter of an inch or something? But it's there. Somebody started. Somebody started. And there it goes, back to the back. Let's look at the back. But that's the reason why this was inexpensive. And the rest of it looks so beautiful, but it does just have this little tear right here. But I don't mind. You can't even tell. I probably did a lot of damage to it just now, just bending it like I just did. That was kind of a dumb thing to do, but I don't care. It's, this is my comic. I'm not doing anything with it. It's not going anywhere. It's just staying in my collection, and there's plenty more. They had over 50 million readers every day, so there should be plenty of these out there. Okay, what do we got? Baby Ruth ad. Excuse me. A really nicely illustrated Baby Ruth ad on the back. It says, "What a sweet surprise, Curtis Baby Ruth candy." So it looks to be a party, a birthday party, and there's a magician at the party, and it's not like a typical birthday party magician. I mean, this looks like, what's his name? Blackstone. And he's pulling a Baby Ruth candy bar, a full-size Baby Ruth candy bar, out of the hat. And those two kids, I mean, some of those kids they look like it's horrific. A couple of them are smiling. The girls are smiling, but a couple of the boys are stupefied. Mom says Baby Ruth cookies are good for me, and they taste swell. Buy 'em or bake 'em. Recipe on every wrapper. Well, I'm pretty sure that a cookie made out of a Baby Ruth candy bar is not good for you. Good fun. Birthdays or special days, Baby Ruth is a special candy. That luscious, chewy goodness suits you anytime. Get a real taste treat today by eating delicious Baby Ruth. Good food! Birthdays or any occasion. Baby Ruth candy helps replenish energy and pep you up. Baby Ruth is rich in dextrose, sugar your body uses directly for energy. Curtis Candy Company, producers of fine foods, Chicago, 13, Illinois. I like that ad angle that they're going with. That dextrose and sugar are good for you, and give you energy. It's the truth that they do give you energy. Joe Louis is visited in his dressing room by Joe Palooka and Ham Fisher. Really? That's suspicious. I mean, that's definitely the champ. That's Joe Louis shaking hands with someone, but he's not really shaking hands with Joe Palooka. But that's weird that they did that in here. Then they like photoshopped it, or Ham Fisher, whoever this guy is, Ham Fisher drew over his face and made him look like Joe Palooka. Indisputable champ and hero to nearly 50 million fans, Joe Palooka, Ham Fisher's affable brainchild for 17 years, has grown from a sharp-faced, naive, hungry-looking kid with a cowlick of black hair dangling over baby blue eyes to a husky, clean-cut American boy with blonde hair. Fisher came across the inspiration for Palooka in front of a pool room in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania in 1921. He first named him Joe the Dumbbell and had him speak in a Ring Lardnerish manner. I don't know who Ring Lardner is. When Fisher brought his comic strip to New York to canvass the syndicates, he was offered encouragement, but no one was willing to take a chance on an unknown artist. Heartbroken, Fisher returned to Wilkes-Barre to lick his artistic wounds and recuperate financially. Years later, he returned to New York and began one of the most amazing sales campaigns in syndicate history. Through sheer persistence, Ham Fisher succeeded in selling his comic strip to 22 newspapers. From that modest start, Palooka now appears in more than 600 papers with a combined circulation of 45 million. It's roughly estimated that he has around 100 million readers. In addition to the daily and Sunday strips, the Palooka comic magazine sells more than 1 million a month. Joe appears in the movies, on the radio, and now is slicking down his tousled hair for television. Few Palooka readers realize how closely his efforts were linked with the war cause. Fisher put Joe in uniform long before Pearl Harbor and had him fighting Nazism back in the early 30s. Now that peace has come, Fisher says Palooka will fight communism just as hard as he fought fascism. Joe is for our form of democracy, Fisher declares. He is opposed to totalitarianism in any form or disguise. Although Ham Fisher is probably the top moneymaker in the field, he still has a few minor problems. For instance, what about Ann Howe and Joe? Shall they get married and raise a family? Fisher gets batches of letters condemning him for keeping Ann and Joe apart. It's got me stumped, the artist admits. The public wants her back with Joe. I've got to do something right away, I guess. And Ham Fisher isn't the guy to let his friends down. All right, number 19, Joe Palooka Comics, April 1948. That was interesting. I hope you guys didn't mind. I wanted to read it and learn about it. I hadn't read that, and if I did read it, it was 10 years ago, and I didn't remember. This is a Tootsie Roll ad. It's Captain Tootsie Saves the School Party. So this is Tootsie Roll doing what, later in the 70s we would become, get used to seeing, which was the Hostess fruit pies ads that were made to look like they were comic strips. Well, Tootsie Roll had already been doing it in the 40s, so this looks like you've got a comic, but advertisement. It's really an advertisement. We're already 8 minutes in. This could be really interesting. It's Captain Tootsie. Maybe if you're interested in Captain Tootsie, you could pause and read this. For pep that wins awards, the best clue I can give you is a chewy, chocolatey Tootsie Roll. It sends quick energy shooting to your muscles, and it sure tastes swell. It's Tootsie Rolls for me. I think that's probably good enough. Second page or page 3, or page 2, depending on whether you count the inside page, is a text story, Black Cat Turns on the Heat. Well, that's neat. It's a short text story. It looks interesting. We're not going to even stop other than to marvel and look at that cool black cat logo there. Okay, the story in this month, 1948, Joe Palooka, number 19. Joe Palooka and his adventures in Hollywood. Come on, get up, you phony. As Joe methodically beats Stallone to a pulp, the cameras keep grinding. There's our splash page. It's Joe beating somebody up in a bare-knuckle brawl, bare-knuckle fighting match with a lot of people, and then he knocked this guy, what's his name? Stallone. He's got him knocked down. Methodically, he beat him to a pulp, and this guy is throwing water on him. This is one of those, 70-round matches that they used to have bare knuckle. Like the fight would last an hour and a half. Bravo, good work, lad. Hooray for the new champion. Cut. We'll make close-ups here. Hold it, boys. So they're making it. See how they tricked you? Wow, Ham Fisher. At first, you're thinking that Joe's actually in this fight. You forget, oh, wait, man, it's his adventures in Hollywood. He's just making a movie. We went back in time. This is a period picture because this comic takes place in 1948. I forgot all about it. So did he really beat this guy up? I mean, what the heck's going on? Why is he getting all... It sure looked as though you were KO'd. We can't do this and read the whole comic and do all of this. We're just going to look like it. But there's something wrong with that guy. I don't think Joe had something to do with it, but it looks like they're framing him or they're saying that he did something. That's what my guess is, because these are... this is going to be a crime or mystery story, is what this is going to be. It's beautifully drawn, as you can see. It's not a kid's comic, although a kid could buy this for a dime, and nobody would blink and nobody would care. You know, this is Joe Palooka. I'm going to be able to fix it as we go through each page. It's all going back together. I can feel it and hear it and hear it. Joe's getting ready. There's something happening here. I'm remembering this story. Something's going to happen with Nobby. You're telling me Joe double-crossed me? Tried to steal you away from me out on location? So Nobby's getting played, obviously, by this woman. Being manipulated into thinking that Joe has double-crossed him. Holy smokes, the bottom's dropped out of the world. Let's see. No wonder he was so glad to take her out. See, he's got it all misconstrued, I'm sure, even though, you know, I mean, if you wanted to pause and go, maybe you're up to snuff as you're watching this movie, you've already read everything, but there's something going on with Nobby. Nobby is Joe Palooka's manager. Wait, what? Please, Mr. Walsh. That boy would never have done what she said. Don't you say she don't tell the truth. You're fired. Whoa, he fired Smokey. So, you know, Smokey, I guess he's a valet. And he just fired. So they're a team. Look, yes, but Mr. Nobby, you and me and him can't split up, so why we's a family? Boy, this is trouble. All right, so I remember what's going to happen here. Let's back out a little bit. So Smokey is going to have to take over and help. They're going to have to solve this situation. It's just going to be Smokey and Joe, if I remember correctly. It's just a lot of reading for a kid, isn't it? And is this like an interesting story that you think like an 8-year-old would be into? Not me. Not me when I was 8, and not merely me even when I was, well, maybe. If this was all there was, and I'm 12, I'm reading this, yeah. But I got to be a little older. This isn't really a little kid's comic, you can see. There's a lot of exposition happening here. It's a crime drama. It's a crime comic that doesn't look like a crime comic from the outside, because it's about a boxer, and there's just casual racism happening all the time. Beautiful artwork. Wow, please, Nobby, really, I wish you wouldn't be so... Honey, let's get married today. I can't stand this. I'll come right... Wow, Nobby is King Simp in this issue. Nobby is just messing up hardcore. And Smokey is training Joe for the next fight. He's a southpaw. Best heavyweight we've got. Okay. What's a southpaw, Smokey? I think it's maybe a kind of religion, but I ain't sure. Okay, it's not. Southpaw is somebody who's left-handed, right? We all know that. How would Joe not know what a southpaw is? That doesn't make any sense, does it? But I mean, I guess he's supposed to be a dummy. But I didn't know he was supposed to be that dumb. At least not in the later issues that I've read. I don't remember him being that dumb, but apparently he's that dumb in number 19 in 1948. So much happening. Okay, here's a fight. Here we go. Let's come in for the fight because this is Joe Palooka. So Joe Palooka's the heavyweight champion of the world, and he gets in fights in just about every issue except the war issues. I don't really want to read the way Smokey talks anymore, but we are going to look at the fights, and you could pause. But I just don't want to read their conversations. But even though I don't mind reading them in my head, I don't like reading them out loud. That radio is cool on the bar. We gotta do something. We just losing. Well, I think Smokey's gonna be. I mean, that was good advice. Good advice. Keep your head low and keep your elbows in tight. Okay, so Smokey's giving him all kinds of advice here. I remember this. He's helping him win. Have you guys seen the Freedom Train yet? I haven't seen the Freedom Train yet. I haven't even seen a reference to the Freedom Train. What's happening here? This is to be continued. Oh, so this ends in a cliffhanger till next month. Wow. Joe's saying that he'll never fight again because he could have killed that guy if he had hit him one more time. If he had hit him one more time, he would have killed him. I love this panel. I mean, despite the way they make him, the way Ham Fisher is depicting Smokey with these giant lips or whatever this is supposed to look like, it's dehumanizing. I like the look on his face. I mean, I like him looking, and I like the content of the story that, that Smokey is helping. That, this is about integration. No, it's not. I don't know what's going on here. Is there black readership for Joe Palooka comics in 1948? Is that why? No, that's not why they would put the character in there. It's just part of how. It's just the culture in 1948. This is a regular character, I guess, a black valet. Will Joe fight again? Look for this smashing new issue. That's number 20 coming out next month. Because kind-hearted Joe is too much the sportsman to hit Red Rodney a final blow, his championship title is at stake. Nobby desperately attempts to get to Joe in Seattle, but it is too late. Joe, believing the whole world is against him, sets out with Smokey on a new series of adventures in the land of forgotten men, the Foreign Legion. Oh man, now I really want, that sounds good. I want that because it says right there, Joe, believing the whole world is against him, sets out with Smokey on a new series of adventures in the land of forgotten men. Does that mean that Joe and Smokey are going to go join the Foreign Legion? It sure sounds like it. I hope so. They are. On sale March 10th. Ow. How you like it, eh? But I gotta get a plane, man. It's life or death. I'm sorry, sir, but there won't be any planes till morning. Sacre nom chien. Drop it, drop it. I don't know what that means, sacre nom chien. See you in issue number 20, folks. Yes, 52 pages. Little Max goes to school. So this is looks to be a spin-off of Palooka. I don't remember who Little Max is. Let's look and see if we find the Freedom Train. Maybe this will be the Freedom Train story. Little Max goes to school. No, it was just a 2-pager. Start the new series, Carrie Drake, Detective Cases. In this issue, Carrie Drake tangles with Shut-Eye. You'll thrill to each exciting case as this ace detective tracks down the enemies of the law. Ace detective proves crime can't win. You can't get away with Murder. Look who's here, Angel Puss. And that spells trouble for Carrie Drake. Look for this emblem. Harvey Publications. This kind of looks good. I've never read Carrie Drake before. If it's out there, it's probably inexpensive. I don't think anybody would want it, hopefully, but I'm going to look for it because this looks interesting. Look who's here, Angel Puss. That spells trouble for Carrie Drake. Who's he socking right here? That's Shut-Eye. At this moment, inside the boathouse, Drake lands a smashing right on Shut-Eye's chin. Clunk. All right, let's move on to Chicky Ricks, better known as The Flying Fool by Bob Powell. This is beautiful. If you buy these Joe Palooka comics, and if you take a look and read the ad or the listing, you can always see. Typically, they'll tell you what's in each issue, but this is the back story that you're looking for. You want to find Chicky Ricks, The Flying Fool by Bob Powell. This is the one you want. So sometimes just this, if this cost $5 or $6, the whole thing would have been worth it for me at that time just to get this little 4 or 5 page story in here of Chicky Ricks that I like more than Joe Palooka. I mean, I like Joe Palooka just fine, but this is one of those unusual cases where the back of the book has the better work. And it's Bob Powell doing Chicky Ricks, The Flying Fool. Wow, just action-packed, isn't it? I love his everything. It's good, man. So it's Eisner-like, right? Or Eisner's like him. It's this look that we like. It's this 40s. What do you call this? Soft is how I describe it, which is cartoony. Riddle: the more you eat, the more you want. What is it? You find it in the grocery stores. It's in the parks and zoos. You'll find it in the drugstores. And on confection counters too. Answer: Cracker Jack. Hi kids, look for a surprise novelty in every box. It's crisp, crunchy, candy-coated popcorn and peanuts. Get a box. Get a box. Okay. They don't mention the prize. This is clearly, oh no, right here. Hi kids, look for a surprise novelty in every box. I'm sorry, I missed that. Did I read that already? I probably did. I'm like in narration mode. Sometimes I just read words and they don't like process through my brain. Powerful, accurate, fun, indoors, outdoors, summer, winter, target shooting, hurting, just like the former vice president. 3-in-1 air pistol. Rush your order. Sensational value. Shoots regular BBs. Okay. Hard-hitting pellets and steel darts. Okay. This looks nice. How is this done? It says air pistol. I don't really feel like reading it, but I mean, is there a CO2? There's got to be. Did they have CO2 in 1948 inside of a cartridge that you put inside of it? Compression chamber, single action compression chamber. That was riveting, wasn't it, guys? Toast to death. Okay, this is another Black Cat story. This is neat, man. I like the illustration, and I can't remember whether I read these, and I probably did, because it looks like this is, if you make a text story look like this, with these sentences and paragraphs arranged like this, it will make a person want to read it. Wow, Steve Canyon ad. One thing I can say is that Harvey Publications in 1948, they have really cool house ads. Do you guys like the house ads? I like the house ads in here. The Steve Canyon looks great. I would like to get that. And then, of course, Black Cat looks great, and everybody would like to get this. But this is a pricier book. It's more expensive to get this particular title when it comes to this era, in my experience. Could be wrong. I'm always, right there across the line. I could easily be wrong with just about everything. Linda Turner, glamorous movie star. Like Lana Turner. This looks great. The Black Cat appears regularly in her own book, Black Cat Comics. Look for her on your favorite newsstand. Wow, look what they're doing here. Hello, folks. It's a privilege and a pleasure to play the role of Black Cat in my new sensational Black Cat comic book, Watch for Me. Sensational Hollywood star turns terror. The comic book that tops all comics, The Black Cat. It looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, it's just a girl, like, a really nicely formed, shaped, and drawn girl in a bathing suit, it looks like, with gloves and boots, riding on a really cool motorcycle. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, at least we didn't go over time. We're at 26 and a half minutes. These videos go to 31 minutes tops. So on the very final page, we get the Freedom Train. Let's do it all. Wait. It's a Bobby Shelby ad? Oh, you guys, is this a tie-in? Is this cover a tie-in for a Bobby Shelby bicycle advertisement? Let's see. Bobby Shelby and his pals visit the Freedom Train. The Freedom Train will be in Libertyville next Saturday. Although Libertyville is 10 miles away, I hope all of you can see it. Gosh, how will we ever get to Libertyville? May we go too? Say, I have an idea. Let's take our Shelbys. Like teacher said, freedom is everyone's job, and so is safety. Let's be extra careful on this trip. Gee, I can hardly wait to see the train. It was a pleasant ride to Libertyville on their Shelby bikes. Yay for the Freedom Train. It's the exact same train on the cover. That's not a mistake or an accident. So Bobby Shelby and his pals visit the Freedom Train and learn the Freedom Pledge. The Freedom Pledge. I am an American, a free American, free to speak without fear, free to worship my own God, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. Wow, I wish I wouldn't have screwed that up. It was really good. Oh man, that was great. On a bicycle ad? So in 1948, a bicycle advertisement is more patriotic and more uplifting and more unifying than anything that is produced by anyone in advertising or media in 2023. They're all afraid to say what this bicycle company just said. Hey kids, mail this coupon for your free copy of my latest booklet, How to Be an Expert Bike Rider. It's pretty sad, really. They have some sort of special look. They've got an internal buffer spring inside of the Shelby. See that? That's gonna it's gonna help your shot grouping, and it's gonna reduce shoulder damage, and there's the bicycle is going to fire smoothly, and with this internal buffer spring, probably like an 18-year-old girl could probably qualify with this thing on the range. I'm just going off on a joke or tangent about this. It looks just like an internal buffer spring that's inside of a military rifle. Hey kids, mail this coupon for your free copy of my latest booklet, How to Be an Expert Rider. Shelby, America's quality bicycle. I don't think I ever saw a Shelby or rode a Shelby or heard of a Shelby when I was a kid. I don't remember a Shelby. So the whole cover about the Freedom Train is a tie-in to the last page of the book, which is an advertisement. I like how the teacher is drawn. I like how the whole ad is. Kids too. Is an advertisement for, and the kids on the cover, do they look like the kids? Yeah, pretty much. They look like the same type of kids. So it's like a carryover from this ad. It's at the back of the book. Is this a strategy, a marketing strategy to make you be looking for this and not flip to the back of the book, like what happened to us? Do you think that was a marketing strategy to make you look for the Freedom Train, and then it's not even until the back page, and then it's just one panel, and it's not even a real story? It's an advertisement. But then at the end, you can't be mad because it's got the Freedom Pledge. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July weekend with your family and your friends, and you celebrate freedom and independence. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.